assignment. You should be working on 224, 225, and 226. Anybody have a question about that?
No, I'm good.
You're good on that, the assignment. So those are your assignments. Today, we have a special assembly schedule. So, the question was asked, Caleb asked, right? He said, when do we go? This is second period. And during second period, this class stays here for the first 45 minutes. We are part of the second assembly schedule. So, when we're called down, we need to be ready to go from 9:40 to 10:25. Now, did you hear that you need to leave your backpacks in the classroom?
Yes,
Why is that?
because we don't want to carry it.
Exactly. No, there's just not enough room in the kiva. So you need to leave that here. And hopefully there'll be enough time, of course, for you to go from the kiva back here, pick up your backpack, and then go to your next class, right? Because you'll move on to your third period class. All right. Let's talk for a moment about success in this classroom. What does success look like in this class? Ada.
Getting all your stuff done and turning it in and doing good and listening.
Exactly. Getting all your stuff done, getting it in, getting it turned in on time, and listening to your teacher. Now, listening to your teacher, that falls under not only your ability to learn, but it also is part of your citizenship. Respect for adults. Does that make sense, Lily and Lily? Both of you? It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Showing respect for adults. So that is part of success. Now, what else? When we're looking at success, by the way, I've got some posters or little signs on the wall that remind us what does success look like. Now, it says, number one, that we must be self-driven. So what does it mean to be self-driven? Okay, Peyton?
Yeah.
When you're self-driven, you are, give me another word for that. Describe somebody that is self-driven. Self-driven is, should we call on somebody else to maybe help us? Okay, let's just follow up then. Percy,
Like self-motivated.
you're self-motivated. So Peyton, does that make more sense? Okay, and you knew that, right? You knew what it meant to be self-motivated, driven, self-driven. It means that you know how to start projects and assignments on your own. In fact, if you get really good at this in this class, you should know, first thing, if you have nothing else to do, you should understand that you should go into Canvas and get started. And just simply look for the next assignment. Ada.
I need help with this.
Okay. So, Ada has a question and she needs help with it. Now, at this time, Mr. Liu is going to finish explaining exactly what success looks like, and then we'll talk about these specific assignments. Know that every day that I will demonstrate how to do the assignments. So bear with me, be patient about it. Number two, okay, it says that we must be, if we're going to be successful, we must be outcome focused. What does it mean, Diego, to become outcome focused?
I don't know.
Focused on the outcome.
Focus on the outcome. So what is the outcome? So at the end of the day, okay, so at the end of the day, if your goal is to get a good grade, that is your desired outcome, then you're gonna be focused on that outcome. Does that make sense, Drew? So what does it mean to you? Explain it another way. What does it mean to be outcome focused?
The outcome focus.
Yes. If you're focused on the outcomes, and Diego says he's focused on getting good grades, explain in your own words what it means to be outcome focused.
Focus on the way that things will end up in the future.
Exactly. You want to stay focused, so then go ahead. Thank you. Good. You want to be focused on the way things, the end goal, the results. Is that what we were saying? Yeah. You want to be focused on that. Why does it make sense to be focused, if you want to be successful, to be focused on the end results? Gio?
I don't really know. I was joking.
Right, but let me ask you anyways though, Gio. What does it mean? Why is it helpful, if you want to be successful, to be focused on the end result?
Because, I don't know.
Give me an example of something that you, at the end of the day, right? We often express it this way. At the end of the day, what does success look like to you at the end of the school day?
Working hard and just paying attention.
Working hard, paying attention, not getting into trouble, okay, some of those things. And so if you're focused on that end goal, the results at the end of the day, then chances are you will be successful, right?
Yeah.
Because you're reminding yourself, I want to do good today, and that's my goal. Yes, Evan.
But I feel like the outcome isn't everything. Because say like you get a 50% grade and like you feel bad about your low grade because you're just looking at the outcome. But say that yesterday you got a 40% grade. Like
Excellent.
maybe the outcome is still pretty bad, but you're improving, which is
Yes.
fine.
Excellent, that's a great observation. Did everyone hear Evan?
Yeah.
He said, well, maybe your outcome isn't great compared to somebody else. He said, maybe you just got 50% right this time. But he pointed out, excellent example, maybe the day before you only got 40% right. His goal, the desired outcome, is to get better and to improve. So he met his goal. He was successful because he wanted to improve and get better. Great example, appreciate that. Okay, next. We want to be focused on being resourceful. So a successful person is resourceful. Why is it that in order to be successful, that you must be resourceful? William, what does it mean for you to be resourceful?
Like, use like stuff good. Like use your resources good or something.
Use your resources good, yeah. Explain it in maybe some other words. How about Nathan? How would you explain it? Help William out here as well. He says, you know, being good at managing some stuff. What does it mean to you to be resourceful?
Well, like, be resourceful, like maybe like using your tools.
Yes, knowing what your tools are, using those tools, okay? Now, to be resourceful, let's say, for example, you all have resources in common. For example, all of you have 24 hours in one day. How you use that 24 hours, okay, that's going to reflect on how resourceful you are. For example, in this class, you have 45 minutes. How will you use that 45 minutes? Will you be resourceful about that? Okay? Will you use that time wisely? You can't afford to waste your time. It's just like water, right? We live in a desert, and there is limited amount of water. Water is a resource. You can't afford to waste the water. You just can't. Just like you cannot afford to waste your time. So successful people know and understand what resources, or as Nathan said, what tools you have available, and a resourceful person will use those resources or tools wisely. Okay? Now, another part of what makes a person more successful and being resourceful has to do with your ingenuity, your ability to be innovative. Okay? So, Riley, give an example of a time. Riley's pretty fast at typing, by the way. I read you're typing pretty fast. How did you learn how to type so fast?
Last year I played Nitro Type a lot.
Okay, so you did nitro type a lot. And, okay, let's think of an example in your life on how you've been more resourceful, as in, let's say, that you needed to accomplish something and you weren't quite sure how to accomplish that task. Give an example of how you were resourceful so that in the end, you were able to accomplish that task. In other words, you were able to find the resources, be it nitro type or whatever, to achieve your goal. Give an example of that.
Maybe like when you need to finish an assignment, but you're like running out of time to do it, and you need to like find your resources to like get it done faster and practice.
Exactly. Yeah. So one example could be if you're pressed for time and you're not quite sure how to get something done, you may think to yourself, hey, I've got a friend that can help me with this. So a friend could be a resource, right? You can call up that friend and say, hey, I gotta get this assignment done for Mr. Lou's class. And I know that you're pretty good at this. Now you're not asking them to do your work for you, but what you're doing is you're getting past an obstacle that says, I just don't know how to do this assignment. And I know someone that can help me. So I'm being resourceful and I'm saying, hey, Mom, Dad, I know you know this. Can you help me with this? And that's being resourceful. It's being resourceful to use nitro type, right? To learn how to improve your typing skills. So, in order to be more successful, here, we're trying to help you understand that you can do these three things, right? You can be more self-driven, self-motivated, be a self-starter, take initiative, okay? Don't wait to be told to do everything. 2, be outcomes focused. Focus on the end goal. At the end of the day, Gio says he wants to do better that day. So he is focused on that end goal, the outcome. And being focused on that goal will help you to achieve success. It's no different than if you're playing a game of golf and you know that you want to aim for that flag. That's the end goal. And if you're focused on that flag where the hole is, you're more likely to get the ball in that hole than if you weren't focused on that flag at all. Finally, again, we want you to learn how to be more resourceful. There will be times that you're going to need something and maybe it's not readily available, okay? Maybe it's just not readily available. You need transportation, right? So you need transportation, Silas, but you don't have a bike. So if you're resourceful and you need to get from point A to point B, you don't have a bike, what will you do? You can walk. What other resources could you use? You can ask someone to drive you. What else? A different type of transportation, maybe your skateboard, okay? There are different ways that we can get from point A to point B. And you can't just stop and say, well, my bike has a flat tire, therefore I cannot get to school. There are ways to get around that. Be resourceful, okay? Are there any questions on how following these 3 steps can help you to be more successful?
60.
Okay. Kaisa, any questions? Any examples that you would give on how maybe by following some of these examples, you could be more successful?
Well, I know a lot of times in my life, I'll be given like extra assignments from teachers that like are an option, and so I don't necessarily, like I'm not always self-driven to do them. So there are a lot of times where I probably could have improved a lot more on a subject if I had been more self-driven and
More motivated to do that, yeah. Excellent, thank you for that comment.